Hi, I'm Heather from Going Batty, and today I'm going to show you, I'm doing a little bit of a garden update for you. Haven't done it in a while. We actually haven't done a video in a while because number one, we're getting ready for school, for homeschool. Everything's starting back up. And number two, we just got done kind of having our last hurrah before school started. We went camping with some friends from our church. So took the camper out, had a great time, but I'm going to show you kind of what's going on. The garden is starting to wind down a little bit now here at the house. So I'll show you what I've got going on here. So as you can see here, I have pulled all of my onions and I'm letting them cure. Here we don't get a whole lot of rain, so I can do this outside, and we've had cooler temperatures, so it's, you know, dropped down into like the 50s at night, and it doesn't get super hot here, and we have like next to no humidity. So I'm curing my onions here. They did okay. They're not very big, but again, this is my first year gardening here, so I'm learning a lot of new stuff. Right here I have one of my spaghetti squashes. I have 3 more inside, and I'm letting that cure also. So I just have to, actually I need to probably turn it. But you let it sit for about 7 to 10 days, turning it every day, and then they'll last a lot longer. Here are some of my potato plants, and they're still doing pretty well. So with potatoes, you wait until everything kind of dies down, and then you harvest the potatoes. So they're still going strong. Right here, my tomato plants got a little dry. That's one thing about these grow bags that I'm not super excited about. Now, if you live in an area where you get a lot more rain than we do, these will probably do really great. But again, first year gardening, I'm learning mulching is important. Water management is important because it is, like I said, we're in a kind of, I guess it's considered a high plains desert. We don't get a whole lot of rain. In fact, in the last month, we've had one day where it's rained for about 10 minutes. So I've put these close to where the sprinkler system is. Hopefully they'll do a little better. But here, the kale, we actually grew that for the chickens, and they have completely stripped it. But if you look down in there, it's growing more back. So we're gonna go ahead and let that grow, and since it's a cold weather crop, you know, it'll continue growing for a while. I've got my basil back there, which is doing really well. And like I said, more of my potatoes. All right, so here, these are my pea plants, and they're done. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to pull these out. And over here, this is my dill. My dill is doing great, which is funny because my cucumbers did not. But there's a lady who's local here that she grows stuff in a greenhouse, and she's really sweet, and I like her a lot. So I'm probably gonna buy some pickling cucumbers from her and then use up my dill. And then my herbs here are doing pretty good too. The parsley's pretty much done. You can see it's started to go to seed there, but my sage and my thyme are doing really well, and actually so are my chives. We've been cutting on those. That's why they look a little, you know, like uneven. We've been using those. So that's what's going on in there. And then here, my daughter was so mad. Okay, so this was our watermelon plant, and we made the mistake of letting the chickens out to roam the yard, and we were gone for just a little, like, I don't know, maybe an hour, and they picked this thing completely clean. So watermelons, the plant will grow here. I don't know if it had enough time to actually get fruit on it. We never found out, but I'm probably going to pull these out too, and we'll, you know, start over again next spring. And these here are slacker chickens. They have been because the temperature is changing, and because we're not having as much daylight, they're not laying as many eggs. So we were getting like 9 eggs a day, and now we're getting like maybe 4. So they're trying to get used to the cooler temperatures, the changing of, like, it's starting to get darker a lot earlier now. So yeah, a bunch of slackers right now. All right, and so here's some of the stuff that I have canned. It's not everything, I just kind of showing you a sampling. Right here, we have a lady at our church that she has an apricot tree, and she brings in all of these apricots and just gives them away to the people at the church. So I made jam out of it. I've got about 6 like half-pint jars. All right, so here we had strawberries go on sale at our grocery store. Strawberry jam here. This one's blackberry here. So I have about 8 pint jars of this. This is the last one of the blackberry we have left because my husband loves blackberry jam. I've canned about 10 quarts of green beans. And then in here, this is the dill leaves. And then these are the flowers here. I've done those so that we have them for later. I actually did them in my dehydrator. And then here I have lemon extract going. And then I've got another round of vanilla extract here. So that's what I have going on in my pantry right now. And then right here, I am starting my first batch of chicken stock. So I've got that going in my Instapot because I can do a batch of chicken stock in like an hour and a half instead of all day long. You know, usually you have to cook chicken stock all day long, and I can do it in an hour and a half here. All right, so this is the garden at the lady's house that we go to church with that she's let us plant here. I'm surprised with how well it actually is done. Miles just picked a zucchini. So, and then right here, I've got tomato plants, and I have little tomatoes on them. So hopefully, before it freezes, I will be able to can some tomatoes. These are my tomatillos here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get anything off of them this year, but again, it's trial and error this year, learning how to do stuff. So Max here is, our bean plants are done. So we're pulling them and we're going to feed them to the chickens. Max, make sure there's no beans on the plants. Let's pick those, okay? And then these here are more potatoes. So when those die down, we'll harvest them. I did dig under them a little bit, and I do have potatoes there. So that's a good thing. We are going to take all of the green bean leaves and we're going to give them to the chickens. So this is where the green beans were. Back here are my pole beans. These are my barnside beans, and these are, I don't remember what kind those are. Those were my grandpa's beans that the seeds were 30 years old and we planted and they came up. So not sure what those are. But we actually did dig around in here in our potatoes, and I found 2 little potatoes. So those are doing really well, but they're not quite ready yet. So we're just going to continue to let those go. But Miles has got one right there.
I got a tater.
Yep. So we're going to take, like I said, all of those leaves and stuff, take them and give them to the chickens. And I did get probably another, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 quarts of beans that I could can. So I'm going to probably do that maybe tomorrow. All right, so what I'm having the boys do here is kind of spread these bean plants that are done all the way down the chicken run. So that way the chickens kind of scratch and peck and till up and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we have going on here. All right, so that is kind of our garden update. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave any comments you have down below, and more updates as we go. Bye.